Well, just 2 days ago, an anonymous op-ed writer in the New York Times, as you well know, revealed that he is part of a resistance inside the executive branch. It's dedicated to sabotaging the policies of the administration. The left was thrilled by this. Now they're calling for the immediate removal of the president. We don't need an election or even an impeachment trial, they're telling us. The cabinet can just end Trump's presidency right now. It's that simple. Okay, so Washington wants to remove a democratically elected president because they don't like his policies and they want to do it without any election of their own. It sounds more like a coup than a feature of a legitimate democracy, but that's what they're calling for. Maybe they'll succeed in it. But before that happens, the people hoping to regain power should have to explain why their ideas are better for America. So far, they haven't done that. They've talked a lot about norms, called a lot of people racist, and tried to make anyone who disagrees with them shut up. And of course, they've lectured us endlessly about something called diversity, as if that answers some relevant question.
Our diversity, our patchwork heritage is not a weakness. It is still and always will be one of our greatest strengths.
Our diversity is one of our greatest strengths.
Our great strength lies in our diversity.
We know our diversity is a strength, not a weakness.
Well, they all agree on that. It's hard to know exactly what it means, though, other than stop talking or else. We won't stop talking. If the president's going to be removed from office without a single vote from anybody outside Washington, D.C., then we deserve to have some simple questions answered. And we mean answered for real, not just with a sneer and a ticket to the HR department for sensitivity training. So here goes. First, how has our current immigration system made America more stable and more prosperous? In your answer, please explain what happened to the state of California. It used to be called the Golden State, had a thriving middle class, had the country's best schools. Now, the schools in California are a complete disaster. The middle class is vanishing, and the nation's largest mass of impoverished people remains behind to serve a tiny pool of tech oligarchs. How exactly did that happen? Next, how precisely is diversity our strength? Since you've made this our new national motto, please be specific as you explain it. Can you think, for example, of other institutions, such as, I don't know, marriage or military units, in which the less people have in common, the more cohesive they are? Do you get along better with your neighbors or your coworkers if you can't understand each other or share no common values? Please be honest as you answer this question. And if diversity is our strength, why is it okay for the rest of us to surrender one of our central rights, freedom of speech, to just a handful of tech monopolies? And by the way, if your ideas are so obviously true, why does anyone who questioned them need to be shamed, silenced, and fired? How about this question? After spending 2 centuries overcoming our country's painful history of racial discrimination and hatred, why is it once again acceptable, even encouraged, to attack people on the basis of their skin color? And by the way, since we're asking, if it's now possible to change your sex, is it possible to change your race too? If not, tell us why, and be specific. After spending more than $1 trillion and thousands of lives attacking Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya, and getting nothing for it, why does it now make sense to start new wars in Syria and Iran? And after 30 years after the Berlin Wall fell, why should we still treat Russia as our main enemy while completely ignoring China, which actually is? And how about this? How is it fair to use public resources to bail out reckless financial institutions that caused the last economic collapse? Which other enterprises are eligible for tax dollars once they go bankrupt because of stupid decisions? Since we're living by this principle, does it apply to my household budget, for example? And this, is San Francisco better off covered in hypodermic needles and human waste? Is Baltimore better off since the police there decided to stop enforcing the law? How are Detroit and Gary, Indiana doing? Weren't you in charge of those cities? We've got a lot more questions. We could go on, but we're going to start with those. Before canceling democracy, Washington should answer those questions first. And we're going to start by asking them of Quentin James. He's the founder of Collective PAC, and he's nice enough to join us tonight. Quentin, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Tucker.
So we hear a lot about Trump is bad, we're breaking norms. A lot of that I'll defend. Some of it I won't defend. I don't work for Trump. Why would I defend it? But what we never hear about is the ideas of the people who seek to take his place, to regain power. And they're the people who came up with all the ideas that the public rejected to the extent that they elected Donald Trump. So my question is, Have they repudiated those ideas? The public doesn't want unrestricted mass low-wage immigration. Are Democrats against it now? I mean, have their views changed? What are they for? I guess is my question to you.
Thank you so much for, again, having me on, Tucker. I think first remember that Hillary Clinton got more votes than Donald Trump. So I don't know if the Republic repudiated the entire Democratic platform there.
Well, it was 61 million people. It's a significant chunk, I would say.
No, of course, right? But she still got 3 million more votes. But neither here nor there. President Trump is our president. Listen, I think when it comes to what Democrats believe in, I'm really excited about November when Democrats will take over Congress, and we're going to see a Democratic agenda move forward, one that's talking about raising the minimum wage, one that's talking about reforming our immigration system, dealing with our health care costs that are rising right now. I think what we've seen over the past 2 years from Donald Trump is a complete, almost shutdown of Congress moving forward and moving anything substantial politically in terms of policy.
Wait, I thought that we're mad because Congress has done all these evil things and wrecked the country. You might want to recheck your talking points on that. I mean, but I'm not. Look, I'm not here to talk about Trump or Congress. We spend all of our time talking about that. I want to know, for example, are Democrats who backed the bailouts of the banks in 2008, are they committed to not doing that again? Democrats who supported killing Gaddafi in Libya appear to support the bombing of Syria, talking about
look,
more
Tucker,
war with Iran and Russia. Have they rethought this at all, or are they still the war party?
Look, we are not here to, I'm not here to defend policy from the last administration. I think what we're all challenged with right now is our current administration and again, almost complete standstill in terms of moving legislation forward. I think if you look around the nation, where we have Democrats who are leading some of our cities, leading some of our states, they're really taking these issues to the forefront and again, moving things forward. But the standstill right now is because of Donald Trump.
No, I think you make a fair point. You're right, and I think they should fund the wall immediately. I'm sure you agree with me. He ran on it. People want it. Let's build that. No, I think when you say Congress isn't acting, that's what you're saying. But let me just ask you this. So we have a kind of case study here because the state of California, our biggest state, is a one-party state run entirely by Democrats. It was the richest state when I grew up there. It's now got more poverty than any state. It's billions in debt it will never repay, and its cities are cesspools. So would you say that that's a kind of model for the rest of the country?
Tucker, the last I checked, I think Governor Brown has a surplus for the first time in years in California's budget. But again,
just to clarify, California has more debt obligations than this country could pay. So no, there's no. I mean, the surplus. That's just ridiculous. And you ask anyone. But honestly, is California a template? I'm just speaking
of the facts. No, but look again. I don't think we should look at one state as a model to run our entire nation.
Well, why not? It's a democratic state. It's the biggest state. I mean,
no. Again, we're not here to confuse the issues of California will become the United States. Right now, again.
So name. Okay. Then I'll make it easy for you. Name a place that Democrats have run for at least 20 years. And tell me, reassure me that America will become more like that place.
Look, I think if we look at the past two Democratic presidencies of Bill Clinton and President Barack Obama, look at the economy. Look at the jobs numbers, right? Donald Trump inherited an amazing economy. George Bush inherited an amazing economy. And now, if we look at what's happening in the country, he's taking credit for what we saw in Barack Obama. And so we don't have to look at states. We can look at the past presidencies.
It's a little too. All right. Quentin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tucker.